Hey, hello, welcome back. Today I would like to talk with you about Debug.Log methods, which is a very basic tool to debug or display some information in the console about our game. So let's open our script and see how can we use that. So let's open our first player movement script, and we have actually two choices, let's say. In the start method we will display this information only once, and in the update we will keep displaying this all the time. So let's see how it goes in the start method. So we want to use Debug.Log method. So let's type deb. When I typed few first letters, Visual Studio is predicting what we are trying to write, and it's giving us some propositions. So if we agree to whatever is highlighted, we can just press tab to autofill it. Now I will press dot to get inside of this class, and now I need to get log method. Now I will press tab again and open parentheses. Inside the parentheses we will type our argument, which will be information we want to display into the console. It might be very different type of information. It might be numbers, some text, it might be some objects in the scene, some special info about our game, whatever. We will find out later. So let's say I want to display some number, for example 12. And as you can see at the end we've got red squiggly line. It means that something is wrong. Let's hover over it and you can see that Visual Studio is giving us some hint that semicolon is expected. So we need to press here and type semicolon. All instructions in C# in Unity have to be finished with semicolon. But as you can see, Visual Studio is very helpful. If we type something wrong, it will show us that something is not okay, and it will show us some tips on how we can improve it. So with these lines of code in the start method, we will display some information and it will be number 12. So let's go back to Unity and let's open our console window, which is here on the bottom. And now let's press play. So now we can see number 12. And before we go further, I want to show you something more because there are more helpful information in here. Here on the bottom, you can see where this information comes from, and it comes from the Debug.Log method. And here on the bottom, it is shown from which script it is derived. And it is derived from the player movement script. And there is even a link which we can click on, and we are directed to the line of code that is responsible for displaying this information in the Unity. This is really helpful, maybe not for now, but later on when we will have some problems and we will have to debug them, this information will save us a lot of time. Okay, so let's get back and see what else we can debug. For example, we would like to debug the name of the object that this script is attached to. So I can just type name, and this will return the name of this object, and in our case it is player. So let's press play and see. And yes, here we've got the name player. For example, we can get time that has passed since we opened the game. How can we get this information? We can just type time. This is a special class responsible for time, and type time again. And now the thing is that it's not going to work pretty well when we will put this in the start method, because this is called only once at the beginning, so it doesn't really make sense. But if we move it down, I'm just pressing and holding Alt and using my arrow keys to go up and down with this line of code. So now in the update, we will create something like time counter. Because thanks to this information, we will see the time that has passed since we started the game. So let's go back to the Unity, press play and see how it works. And now you can see that we've got some seconds going through the console window. Now we can see that 10, 11 seconds passed, 12, 13, and so on. And of course, at the moment we don't know many methods and properties that we can display right now, but I think you can see that this is quite powerful and we will use it quite a lot, especially in the case when our program or the game doesn't work as we expect. Then we will debug some information to see what is going on.